What up, YouTube? It's your boy Daniel Llanos, back again, your favorite sports enthusiast, music nerd, or whatever combination it is. But I like music and sports is heating up. Don't mind the squirrels. If you hear that in the background, a change of scenery here. Put in the ACs because it's hot where I'm at, and it's feeling like summer. I'm really happy about it. I feel like things are trending in the right direction, and things are kind of opening up. With that out of the way, focus on sports and talk of the town. Well, for me, the talk of the town and the focus for me is NBA playoffs tonight. We got the slate for tonight on TNT. We have a doubleheader. Bucks at Heat. So Bucks in Miami against the Heat, and then the Suns travel to Los Angeles at Staples to face the Lakers, both game threes. And on NBA TV, we have the 3-6 matchup in the West as well. We have Denver traveling to Portland to face the Trailblazers. And context for all those series, the Bucks are up 2-0 against Miami. The Clippers and the Suns and the Lakers are tied 1 game apiece, and the Nuggets and Trailblazers are tied 1 game apiece. With that out of the way, I'll start sequentially. I'll start in order. So the first game tonight will be the Bucks at the Heat, and I'm just gonna say it right now. Miami needs this one. Miami really needs this one. To be fair, the Bucks shot the lights out, and they were making it rain threes like they've never made it rain before. They shot Miami's heart out. Like, I don't care who was playing that night. If the Bucks hit those threes and they make that amount at that efficiency, and Burn Forbes goes insanely hot from the bench and doesn't miss a shot, starts off with 14 points, I kid you not, I would say the only team that could survive that onslaught would be maybe the Lakers if they tried hard defensively, and the Nets because they have the offensive firepower. But aside from that, yeah, Miami was just dead in the water. To be fair, they missed a bunch of open shots, and they missed some bunnies, and they obviously could have played better defense. Let's be real. There were a lot of wide open threes in game 2. But the key for Miami is just like Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler need to play better. They really do. They are struggling in this series compared to what they did in the bubble last year. Jimmy Buckets is not Jimmy Buckets. Bam is kind of a shell of himself. His confidence is definitely down, and kind of the thing that many people were clamoring for from Giannis last year, because he was Defensive Player of the Year, and for some odd reason they never did this, was they finally put Giannis on Jimmy, and he's fighting through screens. He doesn't want to switch defensively, and he's kind of clamping up Jimmy right now, and Jimmy really doesn't have an answer for it. Bam, on the other hand, I feel like is missing a bunch of bunnies, and his confidence is just really low. The only consistent players for Miami the past 2 games has to be Dragic, Goran, the Dragon, Duncan, and unfortunately, I'll say this right now: if your best player last game was Dwayne Dedman, you're not winning that series. So I don't know if a change in series is gonna help. A change in scenery is gonna help, but I expect a much closer game because I just don't think the Bucks are gonna shoot the lights out from 3 like that. Even though they're a good offensive team and they're a decent 3-point shooting team, but I don't know. I feel like even though the Heat are down, I still think they can make it a series. But unlike last year, I feel like the Bucks figured something out. Budenholzer was like more open in the regular season this year, and they tried some different stuff. They weren't like going out there trying to like prove anything in the regular season and like get these like wins. So in that aspect, I saw things that I liked during the regular season. Drew Holiday, I saw some games where he had like crazy assists, and Middleton is just the model of consistency. And I feel like Giannis is more open to shooting threes, even though it takes him like a like a ridiculously amount of time to like shoot that three. I feel like he's willing to miss, and he's not. Although most people would call that a settle, It's just the fact that you put that in the recess of the defense's mind, and if you can make it a couple times, you're a threat out there. My home phone is ringing, by the way, so don't mind that audio. I'm just gonna talk over it. So honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure if like the Bucks really figured it out. I'm gonna die on this hill and say like Miami's not done. I will say though, Tyler Hero has regressed tremendously. Even though he was actually having a really good end of season with the haircut. I thought he figured things out with the new cut, but he is not the same player that he once was in the bubble. And it's a different matchup. If the Heat don't wake up, they're gonna either get swept or gentlemen swept. With that out of the way, predictions. I don't know. I want to give Miami the benefit of the doubt, so I think they'll grind out a win, but it'll be close. I'll say 105, 100 Miami, and then it's gonna be. Well, I'm gonna just follow the TNT doubleheader. It's gonna be Suns at Lakers, and I have kind of low expectations for this game because I feel like the Lakers kind of figured stuff out, and the Chris Paul injury is like the biggest thing for me. It's just like I'm gonna sound like a Lakers hater, and they're gonna say injuries are a part of it, la di da di da, because they're in the position that they are because of the injuries. I will say though, your two best players are relatively healthy and are relatively producing. They're just not consistent. LeBron is like sort of consistent because he puts up those like 20 and 9 assist numbers, but he doesn't seem as aggressive as he once was. You could say that's part of the ankle because he usually averages like 25, 26. But it's just consistency with the Lakers. The defense is always going to be there. Like I saw, they really put on the clamps on the Suns the other night when the Lakers almost like fumbled the bag and they almost let the Suns like... It's weird because it was a road game, but the Suns almost finessed that. But the Chris Paul injury is big. Even though Cameron Payne played really good, and a lot of people will say the production's almost the same, I kid you not, the production is not the same. At least Chris Paul has the opportunity to score high 20s, even have a 30 piece. Not only that, he could have like double-digit assist games. I don't think, even on his best day, Cameron Payne can do that. I will say though, shout out to him. He has definitely improved his game, and it's hilarious. I did not think much of this dude, and he really went from being Westbrook's dance partner way back in the day in the OKC days to now being a good backup point guard for the number 2 seed in the West. But I have low expectations for tonight. They're at Staples. I feel like they figure something out. I will say though, I feel like it's more of a game. It depends who hits their threes, because the Lakers are just gonna keep doubling Booker, and they're gonna just dare them to hit some shots. Like Mikal Bridges needs to hit his shots, Jay Crowder needs to hit his shots, Cam Johnson needs to hit his shots. And if they shut down DeAndre Ayton, yeah, the Suns they're gonna get blown out, and it might actually, the memes and like Lakers fandom is just they're kind of annoying, but it really will be Lakers in 5. The CP, that dude is cursed, dude. I feel so man, that dude is cursed. I don't know. I feel like the Suns are better than what the Trailblazers and Rockets were in the first and second round last year, where they both, all the teams got gentlemen swept, even my Nuggets, by the way, but there was a buzzer beater involved, so technically that doesn't happen. It could have been 6, but neither here nor there. I don't know. I feel like the Suns are like a really good, well-coached team, and I just believe that the Lakers even though the last game was the best they played between the 4 of them, and I mean like Schroeder, Drummond, LeBron. I mean, their starting 5 actually played like ridiculously good. That was right. There was the reason why they won. They all scored in double figures. Drummond looked competent. They were all able to play with each other. That was the biggest thing. I don't know. For me, I think it's just consistency with the Lakers, and we'll see tonight. I hold out hope that it could still be a series because I don't want things to just be like blowouts and then be like the significantly better team. Although they do have two of the top five best players, so it is what it is. Uh, I want close series, man. Uh, moving out, I'll probably Lakers win. I think I'll give the Suns credit, but the Lakers will pull away late, and I'll give them an 8-point win, similar to what they did in Game 2. As for Portland, Denver, ooh baby, the Denver Nuggets, my team. I don't know. It's hard, dude. We are the most injured team in the league in the playoffs. Like in terms of the playoff setting, we're the most injured because we have three key players not playing. People talk about not having Jamal Murray is gonna hurt us, bro. Not having PJ Dozier and not having a key rotation player in PJ Dozier, and not having our starting two guard in Will Barton hurts us a lot too. I love Facundo Campazzo, and Austin, and the only reason Austin Rivers is even on the team is because of the guard injuries to everybody. But and Austin Rivers is a cool bench player given the opportunity. But Facundo Campazzo should not be the starting point guard of your team. I don't care. I represent El Mago, but I mean like the magician needs to be on the bench, bro. Say that with the bench mob, bro. Like seriously, no. Like he has moments that get me so upset. I'm happy he plays hard defensively, but like dude is like 50% of the games, dude could be a minus player out there on the floor. So let me get to the nitty gritty. So it's tied one game apiece, and so far the MVP and Dame Lillard are battling it out. FYI, just so you know, the MVP is Nikola Jokic, by the way. Just so y'all know, the MVP Yoke and Dame Dalla are canceling each other out. Off the top of my head, even though it's 2 games, Dame is averaging 38 and 11 assists in these 2 games, while Nikola Jokic is averaging 36 and 12. Portland is living on their sword of letting my man score while limiting his assist numbers, considering he averaged 8, damn near a triple-double. He had 5 last game, but it was... So far, I feel like since those two are canceling each other out, it basically comes down to the other people and the others. And it's the battle of the bench players and the other starting members. And the number 2s have been like relatively quiet on the 2 teams. Well, obviously our number 2 is injured, but our new number 2 in MPJ has been... It's weird because MPJ and CJ have been like having like cool games. Like I think MPJ is averaging like 21, 22 game, which you wouldn't think about it because I feel like his points haven't been like, say, impactful. I feel like he's had like 2 runs. The 4th quarter run in game 1 and then what he did in the 2nd quarter of game 2 have been like the most impactful like runs he's had, but like he really hasn't had like the regular season games that he had at the end where he had like 30-point games or 25-point, 27-point games, etc., etc. And CJ has been cool. He's shooting, I think he's averaging like 18, maybe 19, almost the same amount as MPJ, but he's been like relatively quiet. As for the rest of them, Nurkic had a good game 1, had a bad game 2. Same for Carmelo and Anthony Simmons. Those 2 were the difference makers in the game 1 win for Portland, and they shot the lights out from 3. I think they had like a franchise record 19 from 3 in the playoffs. Insane. But if Melo and Anthony do that, the Nuggets are losing that series. But it depends. Like it's like hit or miss for them because they were not good. They weren't hitting their shots in game 2, as opposed to Austin Rivers was aggressive in the beginning for the Nuggets in game 2. Facundo was a key factor in the game defensively, bothering CJ, etc., etc. Aaron, the switch at halftime was key too. I'm interested to see how that works out, switching Gordon onto Dame so Dame doesn't do that crazy stuff that he did in the second quarter where he hit three after three after three. Uh, so I'll be interested to see if that is a theme and if Aaron can like shut down. I don't want to say shut down. If he could like make him inefficient and make it clear that Nikola is like the best player in the series, then it doesn't have to be left up to like the two like benches. Also key performances. Paul Millsap was a grown man out there. He was bodying people left and right. He had 15 off the bench. Monte Morris was a dog. He put CJ on skates. Uh, those were yeah. Gordon also had double figures. I think there was like 6 or 7 double figures. Nikola Jokic is shooting a ridiculous percentage. It really comes down to pick your poison. If whether or not they want to like let him get the assist numbers. I don't know if it's winning basketball for the Nuggets. It really just comes down to whether or not if our like other players are better than the Portland's other players. So it's really a toss up as to how the series can go. Norman Powell, where like that trade for Gary Trent Jr. is like such a like head scratcher to me because I feel like the net gain is like been zero, and I feel like Gary Trent would have produced by now. He had good playoff performances last year, and he wasn't afraid of the moment. It's weird. Norman Powell has like, even though he's been like his role has been like greatly reduced as to what he was in like Toronto, and he was one of the better like spot up shooters in the league. He's been shooting abysmally, and they're all healthy. And that three guard attack is supposed to put them over the edge. We don't have Jamal, and we don't have Will Barton, so that's like two starters plus our number two. And we don't have our best like set, which is the pick and roll with Jamal and Nikola. So the Trailblazers will probably get slandered if they like mess this series up. I feel like it'll change because relatively, role players play better at home. I think that's the common. I don't know if it's a myth, but it's the common things I've noticed during playoffs. It's interesting. I don't know if it depends. If one of Nikola or Dame's like production dips, advantage to whoever that team is, and whoever wins the others battle also is a key. And the CJ MPJ battle is critical to me as well. I will say though, one edge that the Nuggets have over the Trailblazers is that the Trailblazers can't play a lick of defense, bro. They are so porous defensively, it is insane. Their interior defense is like abysmal. They're like bad. They really have to outscore opponents. And that's not a winning recipe for playoff basketball. You're gonna have to grind out some games. And when you face a good defensive team or a team that could like at least stop you, and then your defense sucks, you're not gonna win a lot of games. Unless you shoot the lights out like they did in game one. And get like string some stops here and there. One key X factor is the return of either PJ or Will. I think Will is the one that's supposed to come back either tonight or game 4 probably. If he comes back, that is the new pick and roll partner, and that opens up so many more possibilities because Will Barton is a good player, like a really good player. If given the opportunity, he could probably average like 18 with Jamal out. If you want my honest opinion, so I'm gonna go Nuggets because gotta show up for my team. I think we could steal one. We need to steal one. I'll sleep better at night if we steal this one, and I don't have to worry about game 4, worrying about whether or not we're gonna be down 3-1. But although to be fair, consider what we did in the bubble, we got them where we want them. But nah, I want that. I want the win because it's weird. Our team is so weird because like we're completely different now, and it's like kind of night and day as to how the team is constructed. But I believe in our players. I believe in our MVP. I believe in MPJ, even though he's kind of struggling defensively and he hasn't had like standout games. Even though he's shooting the ball relatively efficiently, I still think he's shooting like 50%. But like the 3-point percentage is kind of meh because he had a bad game 1. But in terms of shooting from 3, but I think that's all the time I have for today. those are my playoff previews for tonight's matchups. I'm Daniel Llanos. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, comment. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to be consistently doing NBA playoff videos, previews, recaps, hopefully. I'll do a recap tomorrow. I'm taking it easy today. I worked out. I got some miles. Feel good. I'm going to rest a little, and then I'm going to post this up. Yeah. Good luck to the Nuggets tonight. Hoping for some good games, and catch you on the flip side, guys. Have a good one. Peace.